Z-Manzilla here, and I am trying to answer a question that someone asked me in the comments section of my spawning hazard trails tutorial. And the question was, how can you apply the hazard trail effect to a player? And there's, I wasn't really sure at the time how to accomplish that. I felt I had to do a little bit of experimentation before I could actually do it. So, but I think I did come up with something here, and I'm going to go ahead and show it off real quick. And I hope you think this is cool. Now, a couple quick things here. One thing I've discovered with this technique, when you are applying these hazard trails to your player, there's a couple things you have to be careful of, and the most important one, and I'm going to preface this right now, if you have any sort of like problems with epilepsy or anything where blinking lights gives you a headache or something, you might want to squint your eyes or sort of look away from the screen while I'm doing this demonstration. Because one of the problems is that it can, depending on the effect you're using, it can cause some flicker. So I'm warning you ahead of time that can happen, and that's why I'm going to say if you are going to use this technique to apply these effects to the player, you're going to want to be very careful about which effects you use, because it will actually make some things happen. Okay, so we've got here, I've just loaded up the old Devil City blank here for my demonstration, and what I've done is I've taken the spawn effect, I've mapped it to the left trigger. So now look what happens. Okay, see how that blinking happens? Here's what's happening. I'm going to walk backwards while I'm doing it. Now, as you can see, I am spawning a trail of orbs. Now, the problem is, of course, that if I'm walking forward while I do that, it's actually causing quite an unplayable flicker. So let's head back to the editor, and I'll show you what that is and how it worked, and also give you some tips on maybe some less obnoxious effects to use. So, all right. Now, what I've done is the hazard trail code, which is currently available in the GeoProps and Logic Warehouse, it's pretty much the same thing, with the repeater going to the sequencer and the sequencers leading to our 10 different instances of the hazard. The difference here is that instead of hooking it up to a spawner, I've hooked it up to a player input. The player input is set up so that on pressed, when you press the weapon mod button, it starts the repeater. When you release the weapon mod button, it stops the repeater and removes all the instances. So it's basically the same code. Now, I was asked to sort of build this live. I'm not going to do that. The reason why is because actually building the sequencer and making it look nice and keeping it all straight and stuff, it's actually a bit of a time-consuming process. It's one of the reasons why I've made that code available in my GeoProps and Logic Warehouse. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to be putting up the map ID for that right about here. But here's the thing: if you didn't know you could do this, here's what you can do. So if you're playing on, I believe it's PS4 or Xbox One, I'm not sure how to do this on a PC, but on PS4 and Xbox One, if you see some code you like and it's all sort of linked together, what you do is you've got your right trigger, which is your selection mode button, right? Now all you got to do is pick any piece of that area there. You double click the that thing here, the right trigger. You pick it, click twice, it selects the entire group of logics. Now, with your cursor over the logics, hold down the left trigger, and you'll see in the lower left corner one of your options is copy. You press X to copy. Now, I'm going to press X now. Bam! Selection is now copied, and the cool thing about when something is copied is you can actually take it over to any other map and use it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to my GeoProps and Logic Warehouse here. We're going to edit that. All right. Now we can hold down the left trigger, and you'll see one of the options is paste. So you press A to paste, and there is the entire line of code. So you don't have to sit there and build it yourself if you don't want to. So what I'm going to do here is, okay, so in the GeoProps and Logic Warehouse. So I don't think I want to leave this in the GeoProps and Logic Warehouse. The reason why is because it's a thing that activates on a player input. I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of extra stuff to kind of do it. What I will say, though, is now that you know how to copy, let's look at the differences between this and this code here. So all I've done, okay, so what you do if you want to do this effect yourself here is you go ahead and you take one of these monsters that I've already built here. I got Balrog and Smokey, okay, and all you got to do is, okay, so first things first, because I don't want to ruin something that's already existing here, we're going to just copy this and do it to a copy. All right, is delete the spawn encounter and the tripod panel and all that stuff, so that, and then delete all the references to on demon spawned and on encounter finished. Okay, your three important nodes are your start repeater, your stop repeater, and the remove all. These are the three important nodes that you need to address with whatever method you're going to use. All right. So one way of doing this, for example, let's go ahead and now we can just delete that. For example, let's say you want to, you just want to have it on the player all the time, right? What you do is, and then on player spawned, or on, can we do that from here? Unmatched. Okay, so, okay, well, on match joined. Okay, so on match joined, start the repeater. Okay? Alright, and then on, let's see, on, yeah, well, doesn't really matter, but on match left, just in case you're doing multiplayer, you're going to stop the repeater and remove all. So that way, if you're using this for multiplayer implementation, then you have it. Okay, so now the other thing is I still have these set to a really... Okay, so these are all set to large fire. Good. Good. Okay, and oh, that's the other thing, though, is they're currently set to hurt the player. So I gotta go in and make it so it... the simplest way is just have it hurt the AIs. And... Okay. So now let's go ahead and play the map, and now when we start the map up, if I have not missed my guess, we are going to be on fire. we are going to be surrounded by fire and be able to just walk around and give ourselves a fire tail, as you were. Okay. Load them up, load them up, load them up, please. All right, and. Alright, join the match, and yep, there we are. I am on fire. I am leaving a trail of fire everywhere I go. This particular trail of fire actually hurts mobs. Now, if I stand still, you'll notice I am blinded. So that could actually be an interesting mechanic right there, where like motion is required. And of course, your flame trail, you can make it, you know, it deals damage to mobs. You can do some other adjustments to however you want to do it. So that the way to do that is just to take the existing method and just hook it up to a player proxy, have it start on match joined, have it stop on match left. Be very careful with the one you use, because again, some of those effects are going to cause sort of strobe and blink effects that are very bad for people with epilepsy. And of course, one more time, you know, if you see some logic here that you like, just you know, double click it with the right trigger, hold down the left trigger, hit X to copy it, and you can now basically put it in any map you want. So all right, we're going to go ahead and delete that, but that's basically how to do it. And if you have any other questions for me about how to do cool groovy stuff with map logic, by all means you can go ahead and comment on the comment section of this video. And if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.